Alright, OP-06 full card list is out. We're going to talk about the blue cards in this video. So sit back, relax, and yeah, let's just talk about really powerful stuff in blue. Sakazuki gets more boost in power, but let's just get into it. Let's talk about it. Let's go. Alright, we've talked about the leaders. No, Reiju is the only blue base leader from this set. If you want to see that video, it's on the channel. But now let's talk about Aramaki. I'm glad Green Bull has an appearance in the card game now, because it is a relatively recent character in the terms of the One Piece story. It costs 8,000 power with blocker. That's really good. And once per turn, you may discard one card from your hand and remove one character with a cost of 2 or less and place it at the bottom of the deck. Then this character gets plus 3,000 power during this turn. So there's an event card in OP-05 called Hellhound that literally has this effect on an event card. Right now, it's just stapled onto 8 cost 8,000 power character body with blocker. This is an insanely powerful super rare and a great top end for Sakazuki for sure. Sure, it's only 2 or less, but oh my god, you can combine it with Ice Age, you can combine it with Sakazuki's cost minus ability, and you can get to 2 very easily with blue-black Sakazuki. Easily. And yeah, and all you gotta do is discard one card from hell. You can discard the Hellhound and then give this Aramaki plus 3k. So it's a great blocker that prevents your opponents from properly attacking into you. Yet it's also a really powerful attacker in the late game. This is a really powerful card for Sakazuki for sure. Definitely going to see a couple of copies making its way into Sakazuki decks in the future. Not like it needed any more help in the first place. Anyway, next is Gion. Hello. 4 cost 5,000 power, counter 2,000, so that's great. And during your turn, once per turn, when your opponent activates an event, your opponent puts one card from their hand onto the bottom of their deck. So if you ever needed a counter to Nami, here it is. Because yeah, Nami relies on having a lot of events being used because they're not actively attacking you, and they're probably milling out their deck on your attacking turn. So if you have Gion on your field, which is a navy that you can search with brand new, and a plus 2k counter, which is something that you can slot into Sakazuki easily, then you can you just have it on the field and then freely attack into Nami. So every time they use an event, or once per turn, when they use an event, they can put one card from the hand onto. So you're not only making the deck a little bit bigger by one card, you are removing a card, event card from your hand. So that's a very a niche counter to Nami, but it works. So you can use that. Next, we got a good old Kuzan, 3 cost 5,000 power, and on play, draw 2 cards and place 2 cards from your hand to the bottom of your deck in any order. That's just super playable right there. It's draw 2 and then put 2 at the bottom of the deck, and it's a 3 cost 5,000 power character. This kind of can replace, there's already a Garb that has this type of effect. So if you ever need more card filtering, this is your guy. Not like Sakazuki needed it anyway, but sure, you can play Kuzan if you want to. And speaking of which, Sakazuki, 5 cost 6,000 power, with on play, place up to 1 character with a cost of 2 or less at the bottom of its owner's deck. So another card that you can use potentially with all the minus cost effects. Now you don't really need to kind of depend on a Borsalino, the 7 cost super rare. If you can reduce it by quite a lot, and as long as it's 2 or less, then you can just play Sakazuki. So you save a little bit more Dawn, use it more for events, and then have Sakazuki. So I feel like there could be a good mix of this Sakazuki because you can play it out a little bit earlier, and also Borsalino. Also, this card is really good against Red Green Law, Zoro, as long as you can. Even Rush Zoro, you can kind of prevent it. You just attack with your leader, -1 to that Zoro, play the Sakazuki down. Yeah, not like Sakazuki needed any more help anyway, but here we are. Next, we got Charlotte Pudding, 4 cost 4,000 power, counter 1,000. On play, your opponent returns all cards in your hand to the deck and shuffles it. Then your opponent draws 5 cards. Yeah, this is a card destruction type card. Of course, you have to shuffle the cards into the deck first. But if your opponent has even if your opponent has 5 cards, which is the 5 cards that they're oh, I really want to keep this. But disrupting that hand and giving them a new set of 5, which may be worse, maybe better, but most of the time it's going to be worse. It's a really powerful effect. This is a really good card for blue. And if you are familiar with like the Pokemon TCG, they have a lot of cards with this type of effect that requires your opponents to return all the cards in the hand and then shuffle it and draw a new set of 5. So it's like you're constantly disrupting the plans that they have laid out for the next few turns by disrupting their hand itself. This is a really, really powerful card. For sure, blue, I'm not sure like if Sakazuki wants to use it, any other blue decks might use it. But yeah, great card, great effect. Definitely excited to see some shenanigans with this Charlotte Pudding. And not only that, if your opponent has like 7, 8, 9 cards in your hand, dropping them down to 5 is also really quite powerful. So there you go. Next, we got my man Zeph, 3 cost 3000 power with counter 1000. And during your turn, when your opponent activates a blocker or event, if your leader has the East Blue trait, you may put the top 4 cards of your deck into the trash. So yeah, I mean, this is another card that could potentially see play in Nami. Yeah, like I guess I know it's like conditional, right? Because it's blocker and event. So it depends if your opponent wants to block that attack. It just makes things a little bit more complicated for your opponent if they have a bunch of blockers or they have an event that they want to use. But Nami's not really that, Nami doesn't really attack that much. It's using events to mill out the deck or draw more cards. So this might be a different playstyle, maybe introducing back the Rush Usopp, maybe introducing back the Bellemare, and then having Zeph on the field to have that kind of additional benefit of milling 4 cards. So yeah, kind of gotta wait and see if Nami wants to utilize Zeph in that way. Maybe it's a different type of Nami build. That's really interesting. Next, we got Sengoku, 5 cost 7000 with counter 1000. And it's a vanilla. So that's great. I mean, I wish Sengoku had a leader in the future that you can utilize all of the Navy cards in some way, but I think we already have a really powerful one, Sakazuki. So Sengoku had to be really good to be replacing Sakazuki. But eventually, maybe Sakazuki, Sengoku will have his own leader in the future. Then next we got Tashigi, 1 cost 2000 power with counter 1000. On play, look at the top 5 cards of your deck, reveal up to 1 card other than Tashigi. With the Navy trait, Marine trait, add it to your hand, and then put the rest at the bottom of your deck in any order that you like. This is a searcher for the Marines. Why? Like, they were getting by with brand new alone. Now you put like a straight up Tashigi in here. It's powerful. And the fact that you can look for all those powerful events that have the Marine trait or the Navy trait makes it even more powerful. This is just like ridiculous that how much they're giving Sakazuki right now. It's already seeing predominantly a lot of play in OP-05. I think OP-06 is going to be one of the new powerhouses. I mean, it's going to be remaining the top dog in OP-06 for sure, with all these new additions. So yeah. Look forward to that. Next we got Vine, which is Suru. This is Suru when she was younger, and Suru. 5 cost 4000 power with counter 2000, so that's great. On play, you can discard 2 cards from your hand and return one of your one of the characters to the owner's hand. So yeah, so your opponent returns one of the characters to the owner's hand. So it's a great way to kind of bounce back something that you don't have ways to deal with or don't have ways to bottom deck. Blue actually has a really like I've seen Sakazuki lists play like the 10 cost Kaido that returns an 8 cost and a 3 cost to bounce back like a really powerful play like a Katakuri or like a 7 cost Big Mom, because you don't really care if they get the effect again. You just want that character to be off the field so you don't have to deal with it. This is a good way to kind of mitigate that as well. Yes, you have to discard 2 cards from your hand, but Sakazuki does have a lot of cards in hand as well, and it's a 2k counter. So if you need to use it, you can. Also, Suru's chef's kiss. Alright, moving on to Tokikake. 2 cost 3000 power with counter 1000. Don 1, if you have 4 or fewer cards in your hand, this character cannot be KO'd in battle. Obviously, not sure where this will fit, because yeah, you put 1 Dawn, it's only 4000 power, and you have to have 4 fewer cards in your hand, so I don't think this is going to be played at all. Not a playable card, but at least it's here. Next, we got Jaguar D Sol, 2 cost 3000 power, counter 1000, and when KO'd, place up to 1 character with a cost of 2 or less at the bottom of the owner's deck. So we already have really powerful event cards like Hellhound, we saw Aramaki earlier, and a lot of blue cards does this but better. And this depends, requires you to on KO, so don't really think that this is a playable card. Shout out to Sol though, like, he's a great guy, just this is not a, not a playable card. Next, we got Borsalino, 2 cost 4000 power. With if you have 5 or fewer cards in your hand, this character gains blocker. So, I mean, a 2 cost 4k blocker is great, and yeah, but you know how I feel about conditional blockers. I don't really like them at all. And for this to be dependent on you having 5 or fewer cards in your hand, you could get there and you could play this, but I don't think you would want to. You would rather have like a straight up 2 cost 2000 with a permanent blocker instead. Next is my boy, Monkey D. Garb. Great artwork though. 5 cost 7000 power. With Dawn 2 when attacking, if you have 4 or fewer cards in your hand, your opponent cannot activate blocker during this battle. Yeah, I mean, like, this is kind of almost like the Rush Luffy. As it doesn't have Rush, but yeah, we put 2 Dawns, your opponent cannot, and you have 4 or fewer cards in your hand, so definitely a late game kind of card. Your opponent cannot block when this guy attacks. So as a finisher, I really like Monkey D. Garb. I think it's going to be quite powerful in that sense. Hopefully, we get to see like a different version of Sakazuki or any blue-based deck that plays Monkey D. Garb as like a 5 cost rush finisher, or at least a 5 cost finisher. You just put it on the field, like wait for your opponent to kind of deal with it. If they don't, then get an unblockable fist to the face. I like it. I like Garb. Alright, moving on to Blue's event cards. I think Blue doesn't really have much stuff, but it does have a few event cards. Okay, so first of all is the 10 Murakumo Sword. 2 cost event card with main. Place up to one character from your opponent with a cost of 2 or less, and up to 1 character with a cost of 1 or less to the bottom of the deck in any order. And the trigger ability is activate this card's main effect. So yeah, this is, as Noah leaked it, is a Rob Lucci type of effect on an event card that bottoms decks, bottom decks instead of KO. So this is really powerful. Just mind you, a lot of hoops to gotta jump through to reduce certain cards, but if once it's perfect, once you got a 2-on-1, boom. And most of the time, when you're playing Rob Lucci, you are targeting like the big one, and your opponent has like a 1 cost searcher. Anyway, so all you have to do is reduce that big character like a 7 cost mom all the way down to 2, which is quite easy for a blue based decks, and you play this, you can bottom deck both of them. Powerful, really, really powerful event card. Not sure how many people will play in combination with like Rob Lucci, how many, like the ratios will differ. I don't think this is a straight 4-off, so it depends on like the more talented Sakazuki builders to kind of figure this out for the rest of the world. And next we got I Don't Doubt a Woman's Tears. It's a 1 cost event card with main. Give up to one of your leader or up to 1 character plus 1000 power during this turn. After that, reveal the top card of your deck and then place up to 1 cost 2 character, or you can play up to 1 cost 2 character and place the rest at the bottom of your deck. Trigger ability is play up to 1 cost 2 character appear from your hand, or play it up for free from your hand. It's a trigger. So it's a bit confusing. I'm sorry about the crude translations, but essentially this is a card to kind of boost up the blue-green SD12 deck itself. Really, really powerful card, and yeah, but I don't see it being played as much. I don't really see the whole synergy behind it, because you're only giving like 1k power. And then you can play something for free. So there may be situations where this will be good. Just don't see it as of now. Whew. Next up is this 7 cost event card. Gravity Sword Fierce Tiger. There's a proper name for it. I'm sorry for the crude translations yet again. But main, place up to 2 characters with a cost of 6 or less at the bottom of the opponent's deck in any order. And then the trigger ability is place up to 1 character with a cost of 5 or less on the bottom of the deck of the owner's deck. Excuse me. Yeah, this card is just straight up bonkers. It's really, really powerful because you can remove 2 threats with just 1 card. And in combination, you have 7 Dawn. If you have 10 Dawn, you can reduce 1 with Sakazuki. You can reduce 1 more with Like, imagine if your opponent has a Katakuri and a 7-cost Big Mom on the field, you reduce one with Ice Age, you reduce one with Sakazuki's ability, so Katakuri gets Ice Age -5, so it's a 3-cost, and then Big Mom, you just use Sakazuki's ability to -1, it's a 6-cost, you use this, you ship both to the bottom of the deck, easy peasy, lemon squeezy. What a crazy card. But I think it's a 7-cost event card, so not sure if like Blue is gonna be playing this. They might tag in like 1 or 2 copies just for that option right there. If your opponent has like multiple big characters that they want to get rid of, this is a great card to have in that situation. And then the last event card for Blue, it's White Snake. 2-cost event card counter. Give up to one of your give your leader up to one, or give your leader up to 1 character plus 1000 power during this turn, and draw 1 card. Then the trigger ability is look at the top 5 cards of your deck, rearrange them in any order that you like, and place them on the top or bottom of your deck. So I think Nami, if they want an additional option to draw a card, an additional 2-cost event counter, yeah, they can use this with Nami. Not sure if it's as good as some of the other event cards out there, but it's an option that they can have. And the trigger ability as well, it's quite good to rearrange top 5 cards. I mean, you can. It's a decent card, not really high powered level, but it's a card that is decent nonetheless. Alright, so Blue has a secret rare in the form of Sanji. So Sanji is 9-cost, 9000 power, and on play, reveal the top card of your deck and play up to 1 character with cost of 9 or less other than Sanji. And then put the rest at the bottom of the deck. So you just reveal it if it's a 9-cost that's less. If it's a character card that's 9-cost or less, that's not Sanji, you can play it out for free. We've already went in depth with how powerful this Sanji is. So go check out the secret rare video on the channel, but it's a powerful card. And I can't wait to see a lot of Blue decks play, like Queen decks play Sanji. I think it's going to be a really, really powerful top end. It's just going to lead to some insane plays. Yeah, I can't wait. I can't wait to see more Sanji. And that's it. That's all of the blue cards. We're going to talk about the purple cards next, and then followed by black and yellow. But yeah, I think blue has just insane, really, really powerful stuff for Sakazuki. For some reason, it's already the best deck in the format. Now it's going to get even better. I don't know. But it's, yeah, I hope that kind of pushes people to, you know, make different versions of Sakazuki, even though I don't think that's going to be the case. It's just going to be the current version, but more efficient with better searches, better events, Aramakis in there. So yeah, looking forward to OP-06, guys. It's strong, but yeah, it's a beatable deck. I mean, like, there are decks that beat it. Recently, Katakuri won the Aichi championship against Sakazuki. So yeah, there are decks that can beat Sakazuki. It's just a very popular deck and very prevalent in this format right now. But yeah, blue decks, blue cards are done. We're gonna jump into purple next, so look out for that. I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.